The office buzzed with the usual hum of ringing phones, clicking keyboards, and murmured conversations. Fluorescent lights cast their clinical glow on spreadsheets and strained eyes. I glanced at the clock. 4:45 p.m., 15 more minutes. Just 15 more until I could escape the dull, soul-draining routine of emails, numbers, and forced small talk. Beside me, Emily, my closest colleague and friend, sighed as she scrolled through an overwhelming stream of unread messages. "I swear," she muttered, rubbing her temple, "if I get one more last-minute request, I'm quitting." I chuckled, not even looking up. "You say that every Friday." Before she could shoot back a sarcastic response, an alert chimed across our screens. A new email, same subject line for both of us. "Meeting in my office. Urgent." It was from Mr. Calloway. Emily's brows furrowed. "That's weird. Do we have anything pending with him?" "No," I said slowly, already feeling a knot tighten in my stomach. "We don't." Mr. Calloway wasn't the type to call impromptu meetings. Everything he did was calculated, controlled. If he summoned you, it meant something was about to change. We stood in unison, smoothing our blouses, brushing imaginary lint from our skirts. There was something about walking into that executive hallway. It always felt colder, like the air itself was heavier. The usual warmth of chatter and motion faded the closer you got to his office, replaced by silence and the faint scent of leather and wood polish. The receptionist gave us a tight, professional smile and pressed a button to unlock the door. The moment we stepped inside, the atmosphere changed. The blinds were partially drawn, casting long, striped shadows across the polished mahogany desk. Mr. Calloway sat behind it, his piercing blue eyes already fixed on us. He gestured toward the two leather chairs across from him. "Please, sit." We obeyed, exchanging a glance that said what neither of us dared speak aloud. "What is this about?" He folded his hands and leaned slightly forward. "I'll get straight to the point. I've been watching the two of you for some time now." Our bodies tensed. "Watched?" "You're both sharp, hardworking. More than that, you have something most people don't. A presence, a kind of charisma that draws attention." I forced a smile. "Thank you, sir." Compliments from a superior should feel good. They shouldn't make your skin prickle. But something in his tone, too smooth, too practiced, sent a shiver down my spine. "In business," he continued, "talent is only part of the equation. The real advantage comes from recognizing opportunities and knowing the right people." He leaned back, his gaze sweeping slowly across our faces. "And I believe the two of you are ready for more than your current roles." Emily shifted uneasily. "We appreciate the recognition, sir, but I'm not sure I understand." His lips curled into a slow, knowing smile. "I have a few projects that require discretion, confidentiality, a high level of trust." That word, discreet, hung in the air like smoke, vague but loaded. I cleared my throat. "Are you offering us a promotion?" He chuckled softly, almost mockingly. "Something better, an opportunity, one that doesn't come around often." Then his phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen, stood, and walked toward the window. "Tell me," he said over his shoulder, "have either of you ever wanted more than this? More than deadlines, long hours, and capped potential?" Of course we had. Who didn't? He turned back, his eyes gleaming. "I can give you more, but it requires loyalty and a willingness to step beyond the ordinary." Silence settled over the room like a heavy blanket. Emily's voice broke it. We're both ambitious, Mr. Calloway, but if this involves anything outside of our professional responsibilities—" He raised a hand. "Nothing improper. Simply a mutually beneficial arrangement." Another loaded phrase. My chest tightened. "And what exactly would that arrangement entail?" I asked, forcing my voice to remain steady. He smiled again. "You'll find out, if you're open to possibilities." We stared at him, the silence screaming louder than words. His phone buzzed once more. He glanced at it, then nodded. "That's all for now. You're dismissed." We stood on shaky legs, still unsure what had just happened. "One more thing," he added. We froze. "This conversation stays between us." We both nodded stiffly, then stepped out of the office and back into the hallway. The normal world felt too bright, too loud, as if we had stepped out of a dream or a trap. Emily exhaled sharply. "What the hell just happened?" I shook my head. I didn't know, but something in that room had shifted the ground beneath us. Over the next few days, the office felt different, charged, like we were being watched, even when we weren't. Neither of us mentioned the meeting again, but the tension between us was unmistakable. Then, Friday evening, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Dinner? 8 o'clock, Midtown Lounge. Don't be late." Seconds later, Emily messaged me. "Did you get the text?" "Yes." "What do we do?" I hesitated before replying. "We go." That night, we dressed carefully. Polished, understated elegance. When we arrived at the Midtown Lounge, the hostess led us to a private room in the back. Mr. Calloway was already there, drink in hand, looking entirely at ease. "You came," he said, smiling. "Good." We sat, and the questions came quickly. "What exactly is this about?" Emily asked, firm. He took a sip before replying. "I see potential in you, not just as employees, but as allies, and allies have access to things others don't." "And what kind of access are we talking about?" I asked. He smiled faintly. "To people, to influence, to power. But power requires understanding the rules of the game. And trust." Emily frowned. "And what does that trust involve?" "Spending time with the right people, knowing when to speak and when not to." The answers weren't answers at all. They were riddles, invitations into something we didn't fully understand. He poured us wine, rich and red. "You don't have to decide now. Just keep your minds open." The night was less about food and more about atmosphere, planting seeds. And when we left, I couldn't shake the feeling that something had been set in motion. The next week, another message. Penthouse, Hotel Arcadia, Saturday, 9 p.m. No names, no details, but we both knew what it meant. The Hotel Arcadia was luxury in its purest form. Crystal chandeliers, marble floors, and whispers of wealth in every corner. We were escorted to the penthouse, where the city skyline stretched like a canvas beyond the glass walls. Inside, the air buzzed with quiet authority. Men in tailored suits, women in designer dresses, all eyes, all smiles, all watching. Calloway greeted us, right on time. He handed us glasses of champagne. The bubbles prickled against my lips like electricity. "What is this?" Emily asked quietly. Calloway didn't answer immediately. He let the silence thicken. Then, a network, a system, one that rewards discretion and ambition. A man approached, eyes lingering. "These the new ones?" Calloway nodded. "Potentially." The man extended a hand. "Welcome." We shook it, but it felt more like an initiation. The rest of the night passed in a blur. Conversations about markets, politics, strategies, but always with undertones. Always coded. By the time we left, I felt like I had been marked. like the choice wasn't just mine anymore. Later that week, Emily cornered me near the elevators. "We need to stop this," she whispered. I frowned. "We haven't done anything." "That's the problem," she said. "We're on the edge. One step further, and we won't be able to turn back." I wanted to argue, but she was right. That night, I didn't sleep. The next morning, Emily didn't come to work. No call, no text, nothing. By noon, I was panicking. Mr. Calloway summoned me to his office. He was calm, almost amused. "She's not here," he said flatly. I swallowed. "No." She seemed eager. "I hope she hasn't had second thoughts." "I don't know where she is," I whispered. He nodded slowly. "Loyalty is everything. Don't waste your potential." The warning was clear. That night, Emily called me. Finally. Her voice trembled. "I'm leaving. Packed everything." "Emily, what happened?" "I can't talk. Just get out while you can." Then she hung up. The next morning, I resigned. No notice, no explanations. I walked out of that office and never looked back. Sometimes, in crowded streets or quiet elevators, I still feel it, that presence, that sense of having touched something dangerous, something permanent. Emily and I never spoke again. We didn't need to. Some choices change you. Some doors, once opened, stay open in ways you can never unsee. And some opportunities, no matter how tempting, aren't opportunities at all. They're traps.